Hi, Coach. Between the joint practices and then the game last night, it seems like you got a lot of good situational work. How valuable is it for you in the preseason to get kind of unique situations to work on, put the team through to prepare them?
Right. Well, the ones in the game we can't, of course, control. So whatever comes up. We try to learn from those, and then practice. We try to set things up so that we, depending on what it is, get it covered. Maybe get it covered multiple times so that we can, see different things happen, or try to, do it better the second and third times and get it down. But yeah, they're all beneficial. There's never enough time to cover all the situations, but try to do the best you can and take advantage of the ones that come up in the game, because those are really great learning situations. It's just you don't know, you just don't know what it's going to be.
Thank you.
Next question, Phil Perry, and I'd ask others to raise your hand if you have questions for.
Morning, Bill. We had a chance to talk to Chase Winovich last night. He was pretty excited, maybe even almost emotional a little bit, just to be back on the field in a game situation, it sounded like. But wanted to ask you what you thought of his night after being able to rewatch.
Oh, yeah, it was good to have Chase back out there, and he got some reps in practice. Like all of us, we all have a long way to go, and Chase a little further behind, because he missed some time here in training camp and at the end of OTAs. But he'll work hard, and he'll be able to pick things back up. He's had some experience, and just keep pushing here through training camp and try to get him caught up.
Bill, if I could follow up with one that's, I guess, sort of a similar position with Harvey Longy. It looks like, I know he's been a special teams guy, and I think we've on the edge before, but looks like he's been playing some off the line as well. Is that something he did his first go round here, or is that something that he's kind of picked up along the way? What have you seen from him in terms of his versatility, I guess?
Well, he did quite a bit of it with the Jets. Did some of it with us, played more on the line when he was here. That was, let's say a little bit of a different, there were some different emphasis points there. So, but he has the ability to play on and off the ball. Our depth off the ball is obviously, took a little bit of a hit when we lost Raekwon. And that's given, him an opportunity for some added play time. It's also given Cash some opportunities. So, the more that a player can do and the better he can do it, the more value he has to the team. And, Harvey's done a good job of that, but, he's had a lot of experience off the ball the last couple of years in New York.
Got it. Thank you.
Next question, Yaki Go, followed by Andrew Kelly.
Morning, Bill. I want to ask you about the penalties. So in the first preseason game, we got 9 penalties, and last night we have 8 penalties. So is that something that the players are still in the process of trying to find the pace, or that's something that we're gonna focus or improve in the following games?
Yeah, well, we've had an opportunity to work with the officials twice, once here, once in Philadelphia in practice sessions, and then in games. It's a little bit different in games because of the tempo of the game and so forth. So, penalties are different in nature. And we had 5 special teams penalties last week. Didn't have any on defense. Last night we had a couple on defense. So, different guys and so forth. So, I think it's, really sometimes concentration, sometimes it's a learning experience. There's a couple of calls there that, probably need a little further explanation on, just to make sure that, we're teaching and doing the right things based on what the officials are seeing. Had a lot of good conversations with the officials, and, then attempt to, have a consistency between what they see, what's permissible, what isn't, and how we're coaching it and what the players are doing. So let's continue to work through that process.
Next question, Andrew Callahan, and I'd ask anyone else to raise your hand if you want to ask.
Hey, good morning, Bill.
Andrew.
So sorry, I jumped in 1 minute late here, so apologies you've been asked this, but we saw N'Keal Harry in a sling last night. What is his status?
Yeah, I mean, we just got back here a couple hours ago, so we'll see how things are today. I'm not sure.
And then Josue also left early last night. I'm sure you had an update on him as well. Do you expect him to miss some time?
Yeah, again, we only been back here a couple hours, so it usually takes a day or two on the day after the game to kind of resolve everything. And so we'll just see how that process goes. I really don't know.
Thanks.
All right, I've asked 3 times for people to raise their hand. Phil Perry, I guess you'll have the final question.
I think you're muted.
Phil, you're muted.
No.
Sorry about that. Just want to ask about Quinn, Bill. He had a couple kind of leak right on him last night. How much of what you or Cam do with him when you're coaching him, how much of it is just technique? Is it 100% technique? How much of it is maybe even mental to try to help him through whatever he's dealing with on a night like that?
Well, I think, when you go through any player's performance in the preseason, really in any game, player or coach, there are always, some good plays and some plays that, we'd all like to have back. So, I thought Quinn did, a good job of rebounding there in the second half, came back and, hit the ball well. But, obviously a big part of everybody's game and certainly, specialist games consistency. And so, I'd say we've seen a little bit of that, from all the specialists in the first 2 preseason games. So, we're all obviously working for more consistency, and especially when you have a, 3-man operation there with a snapper, holder, and kicker, then, there's an element of that. So keep working through it and see where it goes.
How has the operation looked to you, Bill, without Joe? Obviously, he's been a big part of that for a long time now.
Well, again, it's all of us, with Joe or without Joe, there's still, an element of timing and consistency that, we can all do better. And so, I don't think we're where we're going to be or where we need to be. But everybody's working at it, and, we've had some moving parts there. But that's part of it too, is working with different people and so forth. So that's actually a good thing in the long run, even though in the short run, it affects probably affects the overall performance and consistency. But again, I felt the good part of last night was, we got those things straightened out later in the game, and the ball went through. The bad thing is we left, 5 points on the field that, we should have had. So again, it was go back to work and learn from the experience, and hopefully Joe will be able to participate, and he can get back into it as well. But time he missed, he's going to have some work to do as well, just as an entire unit. There we'd have to, that point, that team only goes on the field for one reason. So success and failures couldn't be more clear cut. We got to get the ball through the uprights. So obviously we need some work on it.